What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for March 3rd, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Monday edition of the podcast. Easy like Monday morning, not a whole lot going down in Philly sports. Sometimes it's good to just take a minute, catch your breath, because we know there's a lot going on. But it was a very quiet day yesterday, which sometimes is good. Some quick housekeeping. Be sure to follow me on my social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, at PhillyJimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont. Continue to spread the word. Be sure to check out my friends over at OnPattison.com. Lots of great Philly sports coverage, specifically with the Phillies. They're in the thick of spring training right now, so go check them out. You can subscribe to their email newsletter delivered right to your inbox. We're featured in there a couple times a week. Was just talking with John yesterday regarding spring training. So go give them a follow. And then speaking of spring training, just a quick programming note. Friday through Tuesday, I will be down in Clearwater. We still will have episodes. I just don't know how they're going to look. Scheduling wise, quality, obviously the quality is not going to be as good, but I'm not sure if I'm taking my full setup or taking a couple mini mics and recording on my phone. Just haven't figured out the packing, so I apologize in advance for some of the quality, but the episodes will still be out, and just trying to figure out the most strategic way to pack everything. First time we're flying with the kids, so it's, yeah. So might not be taking the full setup down, so the quality might be not what you're used to, but the episodes will be there, and that is Friday through Tuesday. The Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame ballot is out. You can get your voice heard and get a chance to win 2 free tickets, VIP tickets, to the ceremony in November. All you have to do is click the link in the description, fill out your ballot, and if it most closely matches the actual induction class, you will win those 2 VIP tickets to the ceremony in November down at Live Casino. If you need some help with some of the profiles, I included a PDF in there with the profile of all of the inductees. But go fill out the ballot and have a chance to win those 2 free VIP tickets. All right, Sixers in action tonight versus the Blazers. Obviously, no Joe. Who knows what Paul George is going to come out? I'm telling you, please, Paul, go back to the podcast. But against the Blazers, this is a good game to lose. It's a team ahead of them in the lottery standings, so this would be a good game to lose. Hopefully, they ended that 9-game losing streak and they go on another 9-game losing streak. Don't want any more wins as we're trying to guarantee a top 6 pick. Phillies had a split squad game yesterday. They don't have too many of those anymore. But 1-1, lost 1. Not that that matters. But Gabriel Ricones Jr. hit another bomb. This dude is making a strong case to start the year up in AAA Lehigh Valley. Gotta love it, man. This dude, if he can stay healthy, he's young, and he's a beast. If you haven't had a chance, do a Google search and look up some of the bombs he's hitting, man. This dude's going to be a stud. So the future, like I keep saying, it does appear to be bright for the Phillies. Christopher Sanchez in his game went a couple scoreless innings, looked very good again. His velocity is up there. Bomer hit 2 home runs, says he's feeling in a good spot. Let's hope that carries over into the regular season. They're off today before getting back into action tomorrow. We're going down on Saturday to the game. Looking forward to that. But Phil's off today. But Gabriel Ricones and Christopher Sanchez, and I guess Alec Boehm as well with 2 homers, really impressed yesterday at spring training. All right, some Eagles news here. We'll keep it. I think what's happening here is I'm so used to doing Eagles every day since training camp that I don't want to let go of them. And they're Super Bowl champions. And I can't quit the Eagles right now. But lots of Myles Garrett talk. And this is going to lead into today's question of the day. Lots of talk about what the trade is going to take. Is it going to be 2 first-rounders, a first-rounder, and a player? And that's been the discussion, is if it is a player. I'm hearing Nolan Smith's name mentioned a lot. And I'm in the camp where I'm not so sure I want to give up Nolan Smith for Myles Garrett. And that's not saying that Myles Garrett on that line with Jalen Carter is not going to be trouble. I'm just kind of thinking, and this is me, I know we officially buried and ended Old Philly. But sometimes some of those old Philly kind of tendencies start creeping back into my mind. And this could be 100%, I'm going to admit it, a case of me overvaluing a player. But he did get he got better as the season went on. Early in the season, he's a bust, he's this. But he came on late, had a great postseason. And another thing that I'm going to go against, something I say all the time, is the chemistry. I don't know how that's going to impact the chemistry because those guys are all teammates. And I know with the Phillies, I say, damn the chemistry all the time. You want the players. But in this case, like I said, are you kind of... Now, if the Eagles can get Myles Garrett and go out and win another Super Bowl, maybe two, then I don't care about mortgage in the future and chemistry. And again, it goes back to the chemistry be damned. But I'm like torn between, and Nolan Smith seems to be the only name, realistic name, I should say, that keeps getting thrown in there. A lot of people keep saying, oh, give him Bryce Huff and Tanner McKee. And that is all well and good. Maybe they, because the GM of the Browns was here, maybe he has... likes Tanner McKee, could be the answer for them at quarterback. I don't know. But I'm hesitant to include Nolan Smith, and I don't know. What do you guys think? That's the question of the day. Would you include Nolan Smith if it meant getting Myles Garrett? 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. Get that. Anything else Philly sports related off your chest. And if you're pro Nolan Smith, including him in a trade, convince me why it's a good idea. And again, this is all speculation considering the Browns keep saying they're not going to trade Myles Garrett. But let me know your thoughts on that. Would you include Nolan Smith in a trade if it meant Myles Garrett? And convince me if you're pro including Nolan Smith. Be sure to check out my friends over at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Lots of great things happening with their sports fan network. Might be making an announcement within the next couple weeks regarding them, so stay tuned for that. But go to clashingconferences.com. Check out what they have to offer. The podcasts are available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And then go to Philly Goat. And I wish I'd have seen these earlier. Totally going to get a pair eventually, but they have Philly Fanatic slides now. These things are awesome. Ryan and the team over there, they just pump out gear. So go check out what they have to offer. Be sure to use the promo code Jim Montgomery, all one word, to take 10% off your order. But check out the Fanatic slides. 3 different options. I want all 3. Definitely going to get a pair for my son. Likely going to get a pair for myself. But you got to check these out. Can't wait for my Jalen Hurts ones to come. But go to Philly Goat, use that promo code, take 10% off your order. Promo code Jim Montgomery, phillygoat.com. All right, speaking of Jalen Hurts, let's recap yesterday's question of the day before we get into today's episode. I asked you, now that we've had some time to have the dust settle, is Jalen Hurts the top quarterback in Eagles history, and where does he rank? If not, 68% of you said he's number 1. Almost everybody who commented number 1 went back to he surpassed Donovan McNabb because of winning the Super Bowl. And honestly, it's very hard to argue that. I have this unhealthy, I guess you could call it, love for Donovan McNabb. I can't quite put Jalen there yet. And that is not taking anything away from Jalen Hurts. He makes a deep playoff run this season. Certainly, I probably will put him there. But 68% said he's number 1. 95% of the people that voted said he's number 3 or higher. And again, hard to argue that. But shout out to everybody who participated in the question of the day. And it's a fun thing. And I think we can all agree he's top 3. I think we can almost all agree he's likely top 2. Listen, I'm not going to say you're out of your mind if you put him number 1 either. So thank you as always, specifically for Matt from Coatesville, who basically said he's in the same boat as me. He's a huge McNabb guy, but said once he won it, he passed number 5. Not quite there yet, but I'm close. And again, you're not going to get much of an argument out of me. So thank you, as always, for participating in the question of the day. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on, excuse me, including Nolan Smith in a trade that would land Myles Garrett. All right, today we're going to go back to 1993. And on this day in 1993, it was a big day for both former and current Sixers players. So the Sixers traveled to Phoenix to take on the Suns, and former star Charles Barkley. It was the first time that the Sixers and Suns played each other since that June 1992 trade, and I'm sure this is a game based on how he played. Charles Barkley had circle on his calendar for a while. The Suns won 125-115. Charles got his revenge and really took Clarence Weatherspoon to school. You want to talk about not picking good draft picks? They went through that spell where every draft pick they had was terrible. I really wanted to, and Clarence Weatherspoon, to his credit, was solid. He just was not a top 5 or whatever he was pick, and I wanted him to be good. But Charles Barkley took him to school, scored 36 points, added 17 rebounds, was 1 assist shy of a triple-double, had quite an amount of steals, and just completely dominated the Sixers this day. Excuse me. Further complicating it, he played with a sprained big toe that likely he would have sat out with had it not been the Sixers. But Barkley got his revenge on the Sixers, scoring 36 and having 17 rebounds, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. But the story wasn't Charles Barkley getting his revenge on the Sixers. It was his former teammate who made a big splash, literally. Sixers were down 72-55 in the game at halftime, and head coach Doug Moe threw up his hands and said, whatever. They were on their way to a 26-56 season, but he's like, let me see what we got. Started the second team in the second half, and they started to mount a little bit of comeback. Manute Bol, 7'7" Manute Bol, ended up with 18 points, all on three-pointers. Yes, all on three-pointers. He went 6 for 12. He joined the Sixers in 1990. Up until that point, he was 1 for 23 with the Sixers in three-point shooting. Never made another one after this 92-93 season. And if you look and if you're watching on social media, you can see. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, go do a quick YouTube search. The form and the shot that he did, he basically just threw it in almost like a soccer throw-in. But Manute, to his credit, kept shooting, ended up 10 for 32 on the season. But at the end of the day, it was Barkley getting his revenge. So on this day in 1993, Sixers lose to the Suns 125-115. Charles Barkley had himself a day against his former team. And Manute Bol also had himself a day against his former teammate, having 6 3-pointers all in the second half en route to 18 points. But you got to look at this shooting form. This is exactly what you want to teach your kids not to do. All right, finally today, our Women's Big Five Hall of Fame Spotlight. We're going to spotlight Lisa Angelotti Gedaka. She was from Villanova and Gloucester Catholic, and she's one of the best players to ever come out of South Jersey. She graduated Villanova with a record, or Gloucester Catholic with a record 2,000-plus points for the school, 3 straight New Jersey state titles, went on to Nova where she starred. She is their current 4th leading scorer of all time, 3rd leading rebound. Her number is retired. She played from 1984 to 1988. The Wildcats made 3 trips to the NCAA tournament. She was the 1988 Big East Player of the Year. And today, Gedaka coaches at Gloucester Catholic. She's been there for 35 years, has over 700 wins. She's the winningest girls coach in South Jersey history and one of only 8 coaches in South Jersey, men or women, to get to 700 wins. She was inducted into the Big Five Hall of Fame in 1995. You might know her as Lisa Angelotti. Today, you might know her as Lisa Gedaka. But either way, she's a hell of a player, hell of a coach, and today's Women's Big Five Hall of Fame Spotlight. On this day in 1993, Charles Barkley played his first game against his former team, scoring 36 points, 17 rebounds, and 9 assists, 1 assist short of a triple-double. Manute Bol said, "Not so fast, my friend." Made some history of his own, going 6 for 12 from three-point range en route to 18 points. Not known for his three-point shooting, Manute Bol. Rest in peace, by the way, Manute. We'll have more on the Sixers, Flyers, and Phillies. Probably something Eagles because I can't quit them just yet. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on Nolan Smith. Should he be included in a trade for Myles Garrett? And if you are, yes, convince me otherwise. Make me believe that this is the right decision. And I know the hypocrisy here of me with the chemistry and all the things I ripped the Phillies for. I'm sitting here saying, I don't know. I'm close to get. Listen, if that's the final thing and they said, listen, 1 first-round pick and Nolan Smith, I probably would do it. But I do think at this point, you got to trust Howie to make the right decision. But let me know your thoughts. Convince me if you're including him into a trade. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for March 3rd, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Monday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.